Guys, they've done it again. Somehow the Abyss camo grind has gotten even easier with the addition of casual Resurgence and Havoc Royale. How good are these modes? What are the best strategies? And how do they stack up compared to casual Battle Royale, Plunder, and Clash? Rest in peace. There's also been a huge change to most wanted contracts. You might notice that you're not finding them anymore, which makes the Gold Tiger Challenge not possible to do, so we'll get into that as well. Rebirth Island is the only map for casual Resurgence at the moment, and there are 3 ways to get your loadout since you don't spawn with it within the first minute of the game. There are 3 keycards around the map. When you collect these and take them to the Stronghold Tower, you'll be rewarded with your loadout. The Forgotten keycard is collected in the bioweapons basement. There's a shower that you can interact with. Like it's the vanilla unicorn, some money's going to be thrown around, and then eventually the keycard will spawn, and then you can pick it up. The second keycard can be found in what most people call Granny's house. This will be Vickers keycard. It just spawns on a table on the second story. And the third keycard is the Perseus keycard, and that can be found in the factory building by the docks. It spawns on this shelf. And when you have any of these keycards, you can then take them to the Stronghold Tower to redeem your rewards inside of the vault room. When you redeem the Forgotten keycard, which is the best one by far, you'll not only get a loadout drop and an ammo box, but a specialist for every player that you're on a team with. The Vickers keycard is the worst one. You'll only get money and an advanced UAV. It's still useful if you get multiple keycards, and you're only able to purchase your loadout drop with this money if you are solo. And then the last keycard, which is the closest to the Stronghold Tower, is Perseus. You'll be rewarded with some money and your loadout drop. Player count wise, there's only 12 real players in the game, so if you're in quads, that's 3 full teams. We're really good at math. That's a keycard per team. Now, is every team going to grab a keycard? No. Is every team going to go for different keycards? Also no. What does tend to happen is around Stronghold, you'll either have 1 or 2 players camping out the vault room just waiting for keycards to be brought there by other teams. This is not a viable strategy if you want to get your loadout as soon as possible. I either go for the Forgotten keycard or Perseus keycard depending on where the helicopter's flying at the beginning of the match. I'll grab my keycard, go to the vault room, get my loadout, and start camo grinding as fast as possible. Sometimes when you're redeeming your keycard, an enemy will also try to redeem theirs. You can kill them and steal their keycard. If they have the Forgotten keycard for whatever reason, free specialist for you without doing any of the work. The most important part about this is getting your loadout as fast as possible. You're a minute into the game, you can camo grind right off the bat. A quick crash course on how Resurgence works: you have a Resurgence timer. Once that hits 0, you are able to respawn when you die. If you died before it hits 0, that's game over. You can reduce your Resurgence timer by opening chests and killing players, but for camo grinding reasons, we're going to avoid real players at all times. The bots are what we're going to farm camos on the most. Remember, the bots in this game are very easy to identify. They will never have loadout weapons that have camos or blueprints. They'll never shoot full auto. They can access buy stations, but they'll never buy back teammates, and they can activate contracts. You may also notice that the bots never run some skins like the Beavis and Butthead skins, so when you see those are always real players. Sometimes they'll just throw random equipment at you when you don't even see them, and they'll just lay down sometimes in gunfights. They're really easy to farm. So we're going to avoid real players as much as possible by sitting on the edge of zone. You'll notice lots of bots around the edge of zone will just fly back into the map. If you have good weapons, you can just shoot these bots out of the sky, and you can get up to 50 kills in a match, which is halfway through your Blue Tiger Challenge in one game. And a game only takes up to 15 minutes at most, with the average time being around 11-12. So that's a lot of camo progression in not a lot of time. When you're working on some weaker weapons like the Olympia, side note, that gun sucks. I almost pulled my hair out grinding it. Or if you're working on melee weapons, bring throwing knives with you. That way you can throw a throwing knife at the bots as they're landing in. They'll instantly be cracked, and with your weaker weapons, you can finish off the kill. Or once they're cracked, hit them with your melee weapon. They'll either instantly die or go down. And then once they're down, you can use your throwing knife to kill them off even faster. You'll still get that camo progression to whatever weapon you down them with. Just make sure you're downing that enemy with whatever you want camos on. Unlike casual battle royale, casual resurgence gives you a lot more opportunity to kill these bots. Even if you quote unquote squad wipe a bot team, they are going to stay in the game until the resurgence timer runs out in the match. Now, once the resurgence timer is gone, that's basically like the gulag being closed. You're no longer going to respawn. You'll have to be bought back. And at this point, this is where most of the bots are going to be killed off, and you'll have a couple real players left. And this is where you're going to end up fighting actual players. Since quads is also the only game mode in casual resurgence at the moment, I always turn squad fill off and go in solo, or play with someone that knows I'm camo grinding. I ended up playing with a duo, and we were both camo grinding on a couple of weapons. All you have to do if you are camo grinding with others is make sure you let every player damage an enemy before you down them. This is super easy to orchestrate with bots. When you're working on a gun like the Olympia, you just have to damage the bot once, and as long as your team gets that kill and you get that elimination that pops up on your screen, that's progress towards your blue tiger camo. Later on in the camo grind, when you're doing special camo challenges, you have to get the kills yourself and be the one that kills or downs the enemy. But in the meantime, you can just help each other get eliminations and farm. And remember when I said you could get 50 kills a game? That's of course if you have a good game and you're getting to the end zone, you're just farming bots the whole time. You'll get around 40 to 50 on average when you're making it to those late zones. And that's just kills. If you're with a teammate, you can get even more eliminations. The eliminations and special camo challenges are super easy to complete on casual resurgence. And that leads us to where you need the will of a single man to unlock the gold tiger camo by getting kills with most wanted contracts. Bad news, casual resurgence does not have most wanted contracts, and I don't think it ever will. So let's check out Havoc, which also doesn't have most wanted contracts. It's a really good mode to farm kills. You spawn in with your loadouts right away, and it has the same resurgence feature as casual resurgence. So unlike Clash, you don't have unlimited lives until the end of the game. You can get wiped if you make some mistakes early on, but it's a great mode to farm kills. It has some really cool abilities that will happen. You can crouch and become a sack of potatoes, and it's basically prop hunt, which does slow down camo grinding. But then there's also other abilities like advanced UAVs, where everyone can be seen on the entire map at all times, at least for a full zone rotation. And then there's a watermelon mode where you can basically one-shot headshot anyone, or at least kill them in just a couple bullets compared to what you normally would. It's a really good mode for overpowered and strong weapons, but if you're using things like shotguns and melees, not so much. Which leads us to the two modes that have most wanted contracts: Plunder and Casual Battle Royale, which you might have noticed don't have most wanted contracts in them either. So what the hell am I saying? First off, if you're in Casual Battle Royale solos, most wanted contracts will never spawn. So you have to play in Casual Battle Royale quads, where at the beginning of the match, most wanted contracts also don't exist. The only time you can pick up a most wanted contract now in Battle Royale is at the end of the first zone once it closes. Then you'll have your most wanted contract spawn, you can pick them up and start killing bots in casual. While you're waiting for the first 5 minutes for that first zone to close, you can complete a couple contracts, get your loadout and get some UAVs ready. Because when you pick up those most wanted contracts, you're going to want to get as many kills as possible, since a lot of people that are working on this Gold Tiger camo challenge, and even some of the special camo challenges that require you to kill most wanteds, they're a bit of a hot commodity, and getting a helicopter to get to them as fast as possible is also a really good idea. And then it's just textbook getting kills while you're the most wanted. Or you could play Plunder. You spawn with your loadout, so that's not an issue. But most wanted contracts also don't spawn at the beginning of the game. What are we doing, guys? So what you have to do is wait a little bit, and most wanted contracts will eventually spawn. Because a lot of people are doing camo challenges, you will be fighting over these contracts constantly. The best thing to do is get a helicopter and fly somewhere centralized in the middle of the map. That way, when you start noticing most wanted contracts spawning in, you can fly to them as soon as possible. You're not going to be the only one that's doing this. You will have to fight for these most wanted contracts from time to time, and there's going to be lots of times where these contracts get picked up before you are able to. However, when you do pick these contracts up, you are able to just get those kills for the camo challenges. It just really sucks that they nerfed the most wanted contracts this way, where you have to either play casual BR and wait 5 minutes at the beginning of the match, or fight over like 1 or 2 contracts at a time in Plunder with 5 to 10 other people. It's a little ridiculous. But hey, when we're finally done Gold Tiger, we can move on to the Mastery Camo Challenges, which are super easy in casual Resurgence. For the King's Ransom Camo, you have to get 3 kills in a single life 5 times. There has been so many times in casual Resurgence where I've gone on 20 plus kill streaks, and if you're doing that with the weapon that needs the camos, once you get a 15 kill streak, that's your King's Ransom challenge done. Even when it comes to Catalyst and you have to kill enemies that are affected by your stuns, flashbangs, or shock charges, that's also easy to do. You just sit on the edge of the zone where those bots are constantly respawning and flying in. Once they land on the ground, you can either just throw your shock charge right at them and kill them. If you have a weaker weapon, hit them with a throwing knife, then hit them with the shock charge, flashbang, stun grenade, then finish the kill. Getting that Catalyst challenge on regular weapons is super easy here as well. And then when you're working on the Abyss Camo Challenge, it's just 5 kills in a single life twice. That's 10. I'm a crazy mathematician. It's really simple against the bots. Like I said, you're going to avoid the real players as much as possible. Sometimes you might get unlucky on these kill streaks, and you will end up getting killed by real players. If you get killed by bots, we have to have a little bit of a discussion. It should not be hard in casual Resurgence at all. Now, when it comes to launcher camo challenges, that hasn't changed. The best mode for those is still Plunder, just destroying counter UAVs or vehicles. Now, how does Havoc stack up compared to Resurgence casuals in the Mastery Camo category? Getting kill streaks like 3 in a single life, even 5 in a single life, really easy to do. But what does suck is getting those Catalyst kills. Because you're fighting on restricted areas of the map and lots of people are just camping in general, it's really hard to get a lot of these tactical kills done. Now, how the mode works is you want high ground at all times. So when you have things like air traffic control tower in airport, or the lookout if you're downtown, because that's how you win the game. You want the high ground because the gas actually moves up. And the best way to camo grind is solo, because that means you're getting all the progression when you are playing. It's really hard to run around with flashbangs and concussions to kill enemies that are affected by them. So the best thing to do in this mode is to camp somewhere with shock charges and wait for enemies to go through them. But the way that this mode works is players die off really fast. The longer you're in the game, the harder it is to get those shock charge kills, or I guess those kills towards the Catalyst challenge. But then what about the other modes in the game? Are those better to camo grind instead of a mode like Havoc Royale or even casual Rebirth? I actually went and took a bunch of guns from 0 progress all the way to Abyss and recorded the stats. And here's what I came up with. The main modes that you should be camo grinding on is Plunder, Casual Battle Royale, Casual Rebirth, and Havoc Royale. I also did this exact same test on Clash before it got removed, so it's also included here, but keep in mind you can't play that mode anymore. The average time a match takes to play doesn't matter. What does matter is how many kills you're getting in each match you play. Comparing both of those, you can get your average kills a minute. You're going to want to play a mode that gives you the most kills per minute, because that means you're going to be making the most progress possible, which means the highest average kills per minute by far is Casual Rebirth. That is the mode that you're going to make the fastest camo progression. But you also have to keep in mind, what about the most wanted contracts? You have to go play a completely separate mode, which is accounted for in the statistics, which still means Casual Resurgence is the best mode to camo grind. So this is what you should be doing if you want to put in the minimal effort and get the maximum reward for the Abyss camo grind. For your military, which is your eliminations, and your special camo challenges, You should do that in casual Resurgence. It's so easy and it's so fast. When it comes to those most wanted contracts, I'm going into casual battle royale. It takes a little bit longer to set up, but you can complete the contracts much faster, which means getting more kills. And you don't have to fight against real players, at least as much as you would have to if you're doing them in Plunder. Then for the Mastery Camo challenges, unless you really like Havoc Royale for whatever reason and want to do King's Ransom and the Abyss Camo challenges there, I'm doing all three, including Catalyst, in casual Resurgence. And it took me 1 hour and 8 minutes to do a melee weapon. The pickaxe, that's crazy.